I don't want to only purchase a product based on sustainability.
Of course.
That means I'm sacrificing maybe other things like efficacy or affordability. You should be able to pick the things off the shelf based on the price point, based on how much you love to use it, and based on the efficacy, and then have the sustainability be in the background, the fact that it doesn't contain harmful ingredients. That should be a given.
Yeah, it should be like a ground rule.
Exactly.
Like we shouldn't be thinking about it as a consumer.
I shouldn't have to look and see, like, does it have toxic ingredients? Are some of the raw ingredients sourced in Kenya? Do they employ Kenyans? Is it brought over from so far?
Eyes open, hearts ready. Welcome to Wellness Deconstructed. I am Zia Jaffer, and together we're stepping into the arena of authentic well-being. Myth-busting, truth-seeking, and definitely life-changing. Break free, live boldly. It's time for a conscious uprising.
Hello and welcome back to Wellness Deconstructed. I'm your host Zia Jaffer, and today our guest is a hair and makeup artist, a content creator, a triathlete, and a mom of 3 with 15 years of experience in the beauty industry. Her passion for hair care and healthy living inspired her to create a non-toxic line of products called A Great Idea and a kids range called Squishy Kids. They are proudly made in Kenya and answer the needs of women and mothers of all hair types. And that guest today is Joy Richard. Welcome,
Hello.
Joy.
So great to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you.
In this very zen space.
Thanks. So I know, like, we're talking about sustainability this chapter, and you've had one hell of a journey into sustainability, healthy living, because of your journey as a mom. So why don't we start with, what does sustainability mean for you?
That's interesting. I definitely don't feel like a sustainability expert. I'm just
None of us are, don't
a
worry.
mom who is trying to, do right by my kids and do right by the planet and myself, and just go on that journey of trying to incrementally make changes that can make me a little bit more, sustainable and eco-friendly. And I think I grew up in Kenya, so feel really, really grounded here. My kids are born here. My husband's from Kenya. And I think when thinking about sustainability, you have to start at home where you feel most passionate about. And for me, just seeing the community around me and trying to make that a tiny bit more, a tiny bit better.
Yeah, thanks. So why do you think it was important for you to get onto this sustainability journey?
Well, I think having children, it just makes you think about the future and makes you think about things in a little bit more of a holistic light. When you're younger, you're so in the moment, you're not really thinking about the beginning, the middle, and the end of things. But with children, there's just this really interesting concept of time that comes into play.
Yeah.
And time seems more fragile, shorter, and you kind of value your place in the world more, and you think about what you're leaving behind or what kind of precedent you're setting for your children.
Exactly.
And I sometimes think we already have so many negative habits, whether it's like consumerism or wastefulness, and I feel like we're a little bit already baked.
Yeah.
Even though, of course, we can still make changes as we go along and become better. But for our children, we can really influence their minds from such a young age, and we can kind of we can make it more like built into who they are, caring about the world. And
and I feel like when we were growing up, we had no idea about these things.
Not so much.
Yeah, we were not made aware of it, and I also feel like we were not living in a world where we were like surrounded or like we were overpopulated. That we had to really think about these things. And now I feel like the more people there are in this world, there is more demand for goods. So there's more shortcuts being taken without thinking about what is actually good for our body, what is actually good for our kids' body, our kids' hormones, our kids' guts, our kids' skin.
100%. I feel like that was not addressed at all. And I think that the generation before us, they went through the stage of like the sort of industrial revolution, and then it being like everything needed to be convenient.
Yes.
So it was like the convenience revolution, like everything needed to be more and more convenient and more. But now our generation are sort of taking a little step back and seeing like, what are we trading for convenience? Are things worse quality or, you know, not manufactured in a way that is sustainable and that also like nurtures our body in the long term.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see a lot of effects of that with the older generation and just people around us in our community being more sick, even in Kenya.
True.
And I mean, for me growing up, I spent 5 years of my like young life in Mombasa.
Oh, nice.
And I lived in Nyali and always went to the beach there.
Yeah.
And recently went back when I was pregnant with my second child, and just seeing the ecosystem there and the ocean and the beach having changed so much. When we went snorkeling one day and there just being like almost no fish and just things like that. I mean, it's better in different parts of the coast, but there are certain parts of Kenya where you really see that, oh my God, it's only 20 years, but the impact is massive. And I think, just wanting to slow that down in some way.
It's so disheartening. Like I went snorkeling once and like we saw dead coral.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is going on with this world? Where are we getting to? You know?
I know. I really had trouble explaining because we were in a glass bottom and we were not really seeing anything. It was also based on the time of year, but we were almost seeing no fish.
Yeah.
And I had to like explain to my daughter while we were on this boat trip that there was basically no fish.
Yeah.
Especially in that Mombasa.
Yeah, I know the Diani Strip, right?
No,
Where
in
did you go?
Mombasa. We were in Shantu.
Okay.
So even worse, even more overrun by, big
and I feel like that makes us realize like how much we need to take care of our planet.
Definitely.
Yeah, but also like think about ourselves.
Definitely.
Like we see, like you were saying, like we see adults or our elders getting sick now. But there's no way to place as to what they were doing that they're getting to this point, right?
Yeah.
And it's like now because we know better, we realize that it's like the simplest things like hand wash or your body lotion.
Like fragrance. Just the fact that there's so much fragrance in everything and so much synthetic crap and everything.
Yeah.
And I think you can really like see that in our kids too. There's a lot of data that shows that like with children, there's such a massive rise of things like eczema and kind of autoimmune gut issues, inflammation issues that you're like, why? Where's this coming from and why is it so common?
Yeah.
You can be in any group of women, any room, and I think ask a mom, and one of the moms has a child who's dealing with eczema or some kind of like autoimmune, some kind of inflammation disorder. And I think that's really representative of
the state,
the situation.
Yeah. And I know you've had a personal journey into that. And that's what led you to coming up with a whole line for yourself, for your kids, or because of your kids. So why don't you tell us about what's your journey been into wanting to be more sustainable, but also like more conscious of what you're putting on yourself, especially for your kids?
Yeah, so definitely the inspiration behind my products was that I was a consumer first here in Kenya, having grown up here, but also having my kids here and just seeing what's available and what's not available. But I'll come back to that and first talk about my challenges with eczema. My first two children didn't have any issues. When I had my third child, I gave birth to him. And you know those really precious newborn days where your baby is just absolutely perfect.
And squishy.
I know, and squishy, which is completely weaves into the name.
Yeah.
But when I had him around day 3, and you know there is like post-newborn, their skin can be like a little bit bumpy, a little bit peeling, flaky, not 100% perfect. But from day 3, I already started seeing what I thought was heat rash, like his whole body was covered in heat rash. And I thought, okay, maybe he was born at the end of October, so it was like early November at this time. I thought maybe there's something with, he's very sensitive to the heat or something. Yeah. But anyway, his skin was just not right. It was really red, really irritated. And it just kind of, no matter what I did, it kind of snowballed. Before I knew it, he just had really big patches of eczema all over especially his torso and his face. And every time I would change his diaper, he would just like tear at his skin, and it just made me so sad. I know, it made me so sad. And he wasn't even at the stage where he was eating anything yet, just breast milk. And so it was really sad to watch. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had only ever met moms who said they had like struggles with eczema, and I was like, oh, what's all this? But now it was me. Now I was dealing with it. And so I had to go on my own journey to figure out what to do. My pediatrician, of course, gave me a bunch of samples of stuff that I could try. But I just remember that first trip to like the pharmacy, spending around 10,000 shillings on products that I was like, I don't even know if they'll work. And I just felt really reluctant to go on this journey of experimenting with such a new baby, and also not really understanding what were in these products. And because I'm dealing with a newborn, wondering what all am I exposing him to?
True.
And how can that be helpful, for a newborn to all of a sudden have all these new exposures? It just didn't really make sense to me. Yeah. So that made me want to try natural stuff, of course. And so that's where things like castor oil came in, and I found that really healing for him. I researched into that, things like oat baths and those kind of natural ways that I could kind of soothe his skin. I think what really helped, and I mean, I got to know over time that it is like an inflammation issue, a gut issue often. So just his natural development luckily really sorted it out. And at about a year old, he was a lot better. He still does have facial eczema when he's like run down and stuff like that. But while I was on that journey, I already had a line of hair oils that I had created. And I'm a hairdresser, so my passion first, or my thinking is always about hair and hair care. But my formulator at the time saw my struggles, and she was like, is there something I can help you with to make for baby? And I hadn't even originally wanted to put out an eczema-friendly lotion, but it just happened really organically and really naturally. And it just comes from the needs that I was facing as a mom, the empathy that I now had for other moms who were dealing with it. And then, of course, my expertise from hairdressing and the beauty industry in general did help me to, create and put out something that I felt like could help other moms and could help me.
Yeah, sure. That's great. I feel like I love it when you create something because of your experience. Yeah. And you know that there's a gap for this in the market. I feel like it serves so much more. Yeah. So much more in terms of impact.
Exactly.
And I heard you say that you also have a line of oils, but before I go there, like what are the different products you have in your kids range, if you can tell us a little bit about that.
So now the Squishy range has expanded, but we started out with what I call my changing table essentials, which is a non-toxic body lotion that has oat and chamomile extracts, and it's got castor and shea in it that really help to soothe skin, and it's great from newborn onwards. It's eczema friendly. It's not only a lotion for eczema babies or people who are struggling with eczema, but it's just a really wonderful lotion in general. And we, are super proactive about making sure that it has no nasties, no petroleum products, no synthetic fragrances or dyes, things like parabens, sulfates. We try to stay away from all those things that have long-term effects on our bodies and the environment. And then we have a diaper rash cream, which has become, I have clients who have told me this, but even in my house, it's like this magic paste that we put on all abrasions, chafing, cracked skin. But it was originally a diaper rash cream that helps with that kind of soreness. And then we have because I started with hair oil, actually the first product was a hair oil
for babies.
And because it's so natural, it's a hair and body oil. Oh, nice. And it really helps with things like cradle cap and those like early stage scalp issues and helps to just balance and nourish. Also, I have mixed race kids, so tangles was at like the top of the list of what we needed to deal with. So oiling their hair, moisturizing and nourishing their hair in general was something that was, at the top of my list. Those were the changing table essentials. And those I feel like from newborn onward should be on every mommy's table.
Yeah.
And then we launched some bath and hair products, which I'm really, really proud of. It took a long time to meet my own standards, being a hairdresser, of what I wanted in a shampoo and conditioner for kids. And also taking into account all hair types, because we live in Africa, and we have just such a wide range of textures here.
Definitely.
So I really wanted something that could suit everyone. My own mixed race kids, my, Afro clients, and clients that are expats, Indians. We just have so many demographics and people here. So something that could really, like, across the board suit everybody. So that was really challenging and super rewarding when we had a formulation that I was happy with. And then we also have a non-toxic bubble bath and body wash, because everybody needs like bubbles and fun. And I just really wanted to bring fun into like the bathroom. Yeah. And also, I mean, this is something that is very important to me from a consumer standpoint. And it's also something I admire in you, with the home management and the, just as moms, what the responsibilities that we have in our homes to provide and to have everything there.
Yeah.
So I do my shopping on a Monday.
Yay.
And I often think, and I have been thinking for years, about why we buy stuff and our whole experience as moms who are the people who stock up our house, who look after everyone's needs. And I think there's a few different things that tend to like come into play. One big one, of course, is affordability.
Yeah.
You have your budget, you have your lifestyle. So you're walking through the aisle, you're thinking about affordability and trying to compare prices and stuff like that and seeing if things are competitive. And then the next thing you think about is enjoyment and like if you like the product, right?
Yeah.
The user experience, if your family likes it, they like the smell of something, or if they're like, oh, don't buy that again because it smells weird or it doesn't work. So the general user experience of the product, did you buy it before and is it good? Is it something you'd buy again? And then the third thing I think would be if it fulfills the need that you want it to. Is it effective? So if you're buying a shampoo, does it clean your hair? Or if you're buying a bar soap, does it do the job?
Yeah,
exactly. So is the efficacy there? So I think those are the three main things. But then besides that, as you pick things off the shelf, a lot of us moms are also going to look at like the health of something. Is it good for my body? Is it safe for my baby? All those kind of things. But they might not be the main thing you want to shop for, based on. And then there's also the sustainability aspect. So in my mind, there's those three factors that are what we are really looking for. And then in the background, there's health and sustainability. Because I don't want to only purchase a product based on sustainability.
Of course.
That means I'm sacrificing maybe other things like efficacy or affordability. But what I really feel with my products and bringing them to the Kenyan market is that I do really think that companies should take that burden of sustainability and safety away from the consumer, and that you should be able to pick the things off the shelf based on the price point, based on how much you love to use it, and based on the efficacy, and then have the sustainability be in the background. The fact that it doesn't contain harmful ingredients. That should be a given.
Yeah, it should be like a ground rule.
Exactly.
We shouldn't be thinking about it as a consumer.
I shouldn't have to look and see, like, does this have everything? Does it have toxic ingredients? Everything. Is this like, are some of the raw ingredients sourced in Kenya? Do they employ Kenyans? Is it brought over from so far? So those kind of things. I just thought, what difference can I make? And I can take on that burden. But at the forefront of my products, I just want them to be amazing to use. I want them to be competitively priced, and I want them to fulfill a need. If you struggle with tangles in your home, does my shampoo and conditioner answer that?
Yeah.
If your baby has eczema or sensitive skin, is this a product that's helpful? So that's what I kind of created them with in mind.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I love that. I want to repeat those things. Like I think it's a great resource for us to consider when we're buying something.
Yeah.
So the healthy, of course, non-toxic ingredients, and the sustainability of the products, how they're packed, etc.
Exactly.
Right? The efficacy, like do they serve their purpose?
Exactly.
The affordability.
Yeah.
And I also think, what was the third one?
The user experience.
The user experience.
Is it enjoyable to use?
Yeah. Is it
memorable?
Is it like a sensual
like,
experience? Like,
exactly.
is it like pleasing to all your senses?
Exactly.
And I like to add one more thing. Like, I like one brand that I really believe in have like the entire range of products.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go like hunting for like, okay, I'll take the shampoo from here, but I don't like the conditioner because it doesn't serve the purpose. So I don't want to have to go like look for a shampoo from another brand, a conditioner from another brand, a body wash from another brand that serves the purpose. So what I like about your products is, in addition to those 5, it's also like I can buy the whole range altogether, and I'm really excited to use it for my baby.
That would be my dream. That is my dream, to see it on like, Kenyan mommies changing tables in their bathrooms, and just that I can make that little bit of difference as a Kenyan mom myself, that I can make life just like a tiny bit easier.
Yeah,
it was always.
I think it really helps. But I think it really helps to know that like all these things are considered, because not like as a consumer we don't feel like heard or seen all the time. It's always like what the company wants to push out more, and what their marketing campaign is trying to like. It's all out of fear. It's fear based, right? I always say that like all the marketing campaigns are fear based. Like, you don't want to miss out on this, so you're gonna go buy this. You don't want to miss out on this, you're gonna go buy this. But then the company producing it is not actually looking at all these factors that a consumer would take into consideration before buying. It's maybe it'll meet 1 or 2 or 3 of them, but not all of them.
Totally.
So I really like that Squishy Kids meets all those criterias, especially for moms, so you know where to get all those products from.
Yeah, and moms want connection. They want community, somebody who understands their struggles. And so,
you have the solution.
I hope so.
So I wanted to take you back to saying, you said about the expensive bit, that you went to the pharmacy and you got like a whole range of products for like 10K.
Yeah.
And I bet they were not made locally.
No.
Yeah, so they're all imported.
Yes.
And I feel like one of the things that I really like about being sustainable is us supporting locally made products.
Yeah.
Of course, it helps with the carbon footprint, because when products are imported, they have a higher carbon footprint. Of course, they're not affordable because they're so much more expensive because of the import. They're not made naturally, of course. But also, I feel like it supports the local community, and we're helping our economy grow better.
100%.
So what were your thoughts on that when you came up with your own line?
Yeah, I mean, that's why at the very beginning of this conversation, I started with like, if there's a place you could care about and your community, if that is at the root of everything, then you'll think about that from a whole perspective. So for me, I didn't know when I was starting just how impactful it would be to be a Kenyan brand. But I came to realize along the way all the little things that I was doing that helped to drive forward the industry in so many ways. And so that's what I want to go into. There is, like you said, if all of us are bringing in our products from another country, there's just so much that goes into even just the transportation aspect of it. Not to mention that you're getting something that's so mass produced. There's just so many elements of it that are not sustainable. But if you look at it from the point of view of a country, of Kenya, we already have a lot of challenges in the manufacturing sector, and it's really growing. And ultimately, the more independent we can be as a country, the better it is for the environment, the better for all developing nations.
Totally.
So if we can use local inputs and stuff like that, it's going to just grow every sector. So when I went into the process of manufacturing the products, using a local lab and local formulators, all that was really rewarding. And then something as, I'll give you an example. So the products are now, I'm really proud of this, they're in 100% recycled plastic, which is really rare here in Kenya.
Yeah.
If you go into the supermarket and you look at the packaging, it's all brand new plastic. And we don't have a lot of companies that use 100% recycled plastic. But that's because the groundwork or the infrastructure behind it wasn't there until really recently. And so being a local business that requires that from the manufacturing industry means I'm pushing the packaging manufacturer, I'm pushing the person who processes reused plastic to do something that is not normally done.
Yeah.
And so I'm growing the industry, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and you're empowering them to do better for themselves, but also like showing them that there is a whole new world where they can use those resources, reuse them, right?
Exactly, and that there's value in that, and that money can be made from that. Because of course, if there's only one company doing it, the demand is not high enough for manufacturers to value people who do 100% recycled plastic. But the more and more of us there are, the more we support that industry. And so there's a knock-on effect in different sectors in Kenya, and that's how I feel we can continue to grow our economy and stuff like that. It's the same with inputs. So like raw materials, we're not where we should be with the quality of a lot of our raw materials here. But the more and more people that want to purchase and demand a certain quality from growers and from regulators, all those kind of different bodies, the more it develops those sectors. So in a developing nation, if we can be independent and we can shop local, we push forward so many sectors that we don't even think about when we're picking something off the shelf.
Yeah.
So buying local is super important. I didn't even mention employment. There's just so many elements,
you know? Yeah.
Like
you're employing so many more people, and it's just helping support so many more families.
Exactly.
And
supporting
also,
only the import-export industry. It's just a really short-term. It's a really short-term thing, and I think it's so much more rewarding to support like the growth of.
Yeah. And I love the fact that like if I'm supporting one company, I know that company is supporting so many more people, so many more initiatives like recycled plastic bottles or non-toxic ingredient growers. And that really helps me. I mean, that really helps me on my journey, because I'm not just taking care of myself, but I'm helping so many others indirectly as a result of that one purchase.
Yeah, so definitely know when you're buying squishy products that you're making a purchase that I want you to just love it and have fun with the kids, and for it to take away their tangles and all those little surface things.
Yeah.
But below that, there's like, you should feel good about yourself. Like there's a certain like check boxes that are being ticked, and I just want moms to, like, for me to take that away from moms. You don't have to choose something that doesn't really suit you just because of the sustainability factor. Hopefully this can answer like lots of different.
Yeah, and I love that it has like a ripple effect, like that one purchase.
Yeah.
Like I said, it has a ripple effect of impact that it's creating on so many lives.
Exactly, and just being groundbreaking in general. Like even if my brand paves the way for another brand to do something similar, but in another iteration.
Yeah, it inspires them.
It's just a good thing.
Yeah, so true. So let me take you back to the other thing you said. Sorry, I'm distracted by this tourist. It's come on our set.
It's so cute.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about is your oils. I know, like, as a hairdresser, you've been like 15 years in the industry.
Yeah.
And then you came up with your own line of hair oils before you started with the kids stuff, right? So what was your idea behind that, and what purpose do those oils serve?
Yes, I think again it came from a need, being a hairdresser and working in salons in Kenya for all these years. I feel like the retail part of salons is not quite like where we want it to be. Or again, things are brought in, marked up hugely.
Yeah.
And then sold also not consistently. So you don't get something that you might have bought and loved again and again. So I thought there's something I would like to do for my clients to answer some of the issues that they had with their hair. And that was also natural, not just necessarily dumping more chemicals on their scalp. So I've got 3 different hair oils, and they kind of suit the 3 different hair needs or hair struggles that I saw my clients having. One of them is hair growth and hair fall problems. There's so much of that, and so many people are concerned with, you know, increasing their hair growth or the length of their hair. So there's an oil called Grow, which helps to stimulate and encourage new hair growth and just protect your hair in general. And then there's an oil called Repair, which is really great for dry, damaged hair. Being a hairdresser and also color treating people's hair and seeing people with dry, damaged hair that's, you know, heat styled, just different things like that. So Repair really helps to nourish the hair, fix also the porosity of the hair, because dry hair is really porous. So helping to just like nourish the hair strand and bring shine and manageability to dry hair. And then the last one is Soothe, which is all about scalp issues, and again created the basis for looking at anti-inflammatory ingredients. So that has tea tree, lemongrass, peppermint, all really anti-inflammatory essential oils, which inflammation is one of the major causes, but behind things like dandruff or psoriasis or eczema or different scalp issues. So those are my hair oils, and so far people have been really enjoying them, and it's just been great to offer solutions that are also Kenyan made. And
I've used the Soothe and the Grow, and I really like it, and I can't wait to use it again after I give birth, because then I'm going to lose all the hair.
It helped me so much with like postpartum hair fall and stuff like that.
It was really nice. So if all the women watching out here, you have to try her hair oils. You know, as an Ayurveda wellness coach, I always recommend an oiling ritual once a week. And if you are looking for the right types of oil to use to support the concerns that you have, I highly recommend her oils.
They're also created like from a hairdresser's perspective. So very much very thin oils that wash out easily, that are really created with like the right molecule for absorption and stuff like that. So you can get kind of the best effects out of the oils you're using. And essential oils really power that. Like it's great to have nice base oils, but the essential oils really, I feel like, bring the effectiveness.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Thank you. It was really cool to talk about all your products, because I'm so passionate about wellness in terms of the impact that you're creating in the environment as well, because I feel like it's not just about our wellness journey, but it's also about everything that surrounds us. But now I want to take you to your personal journey. I know that you are like a fitness freak, a triathlete, and you just ran your first half marathon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did you get into that?
Well, it all started around 4 years ago. I've always enjoyed exercising, and I come from like a pretty active family, but I hadn't really gone on my own journey. So when I had my second child, it was around the time of COVID. And he was just turning 4 months when we got our first cases here in Kenya and stuff like that. And our lifestyle changed dramatically. We were a lot more at home. And especially with a newborn still, I was at home. And my husband actually kind of started the ball rolling with the fitness. And I just jumped on the bandwagon, seeing like the benefits that was giving him. And also during that time, we just needed something to do to like decompress. And it just snowballed. Like it became something that's really important to my life. And I just feel that it's really helped my confidence in general. And it's just one of those areas in my life where I found that challenge and discomfort and doing something hard, doing something that is unexpected, that you didn't know that your body could do, it just had this really dramatic effect on the way I saw myself and the possibilities that I saw for myself.
Yeah.
And the more hard things I did, the more challenges that I took on, I just felt like it continued to build me up as a person. And now I really feel that there are no limits. And that didn't happen with the first run. But, you know, as I kept building up the things that I was doing and the things that I was trying, it just really made me feel that there's literally no limit to what we can do, how we can define ourselves and how we can grow. And I think if you're on that journey of becoming, and that I'm not a finished product, then
We never are truly,
Exactly.
right? I always say like we're work in progress.
for sure.
And there's always room to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you make friends with discomfort and hardship, challenge, then you really find like a beauty in it and a beauty in that process of becoming. And even with my business and putting myself out there in this way and in every other way that I do in life, a lot of it stemmed from physical challenges. And I know different people have different ways of growing and finding that personal growth. But for me, yeah, physicality and stuff like that was huge. And I think it also came from a fact that it challenged a lot of limiting beliefs about myself. I always sort of had the idea in my mind, and I don't know who put these limitations on me. It can be family or siblings or parents, or just a random teacher who might tell you, oh, you're a really shy person, or you're really not very athletic, because maybe they're comparing you to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it can go so deep into your psyche and into your belief about yourself. And you can literally define your whole life by that. You can turn down endless opportunities or challenges based on just like one sentence somebody might have said to you once that become like these defining things about you. So physical fitness and challenge and that type of hardship, it really challenged for me that limiting belief that I'm not sporty, I can't do hard things.
And what I hear you say is like the physical strength that you built through the discomfort and through the challenges built your mental strength as well.
Absolutely.
Right? And that helped you, I'm sure, deal with a lot more challenges in your life that you might have come across.
Definitely.
Because when we prove to ourselves that we can do hard things, just the physical aspect of doing hard things tells our brain that we can do hard things, not just physically, but deal with hard things mentally as well.
100%. And you also meet yourself at like a very vulnerable place because you're alone with your thoughts.
True.
It's just you against you. And at that point, maybe you're on a run or you're doing something difficult or you're trying to accomplish like maybe a distance you've never done or a time you've never done. You really, at that point in your life, you're really only two versions of yourself. There is the version of yourself that is that girl, that person who completes that challenge. Or there's the version of you that gives up, who's not ready to meet that challenge. But the version of you that is, it's always there and it's always waiting for you. And I think just that vulnerability of like the unknown and then meeting that, it's just like, it just means so much to me. And it's like, it's just gone really deep into my psyche, and every little accomplishment, every little thing that I do to prove myself and to challenge my limitations, it just continues to grow my confidence. And that self-assurance that is like, I can either educate myself enough to become this person, or I can push myself. I can just do hard things. And I think I would definitely challenge anyone who's listening to this just to think about an aspect in their life that they would like to grow. You know, maybe you wish you were a little bit more knowledgeable about a certain subject, or a little bit more organized, or a little bit fitter, or there's always strategies and tactics that you can employ just to get yourself a little bit closer to that version of you. And it is always there.
Yeah.
It's just your choices that stand in the way. And of course, there's also like hundreds of people along the way who have encouraged me, like I said, with my husband starting his fitness journey, and then me kind of piggybacking on that, and then finding friendship and a bond in what we were doing together. I ran the half marathon with him, and a lot of it we do it together. And without him, I don't know if I would be exactly where I am. But to surround yourself with people who have those qualities that you want to maybe emulate, and that they kind of push you along in your journey, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like community is so important.
Yeah.
Or just even an accountability partner, you know, to like take you along, because then you don't feel lonely.
Yes.
And you always feel like you're progressing together. And it just keeps you going. I feel like if you're alone with your thoughts and you're just you doing it and everyone else is doing their own thing, then you meet that discomfort a lot more.
Exactly.
And you hit that rock a lot more that you have to cross over.
100%.
But if someone's like, hey, let's do it together because I'm doing it too. And also it works both ways. I feel like when the other person is not feeling like doing it, you're the one that's pushing the person.
Yeah.
And vice versa, right? I feel like that is a crucial thing in trying to move ahead in your journey.
Totally. Surrounding yourself with the right people.
Exactly.
There's this reel that I have saved on my phone from Eliud Kipchoge, and he's like, don't run alone. You know how he talks, like he's so like simple in what he says, but he's like, run with people, run with friends, run with the community, talk while you run. Like it's such an enriching experience than running alone. If you run alone, and I do run alone, but he's like, when you run alone, like your mind can make you cheat you and make you stop running and all this stuff. He's like, run with people.
Talk you out of it.
And what I took away from that is like, surround yourself with people who are pushing you forward.
Totally.
And I think it's like the opposite of the negative mindset of competition.
Yes.
Go towards people who intimidate you, who you want to like be more like, who you're like, I don't think I could ever have that quality. Those are the people that you should have coffee with and be curious about and try to like suck up a little bit of their magic, because everything, I think so much of what we do in life and what comes of our life and our growth journey is based on the people that we surround ourselves with. So
totally. And I think that's such a great advice for anyone that's looking to do or looking to step up on their journeys, whether it's physical health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, or even in their work life, you know. It's always important to have a community that really supports you and that can take you that step further in your life.
Yeah.
Thanks. That was really powerful.
No worries.
So what's the one advice that you would leave our audience with that wants to do something hard and right now are stuck in the discomfort of moving forward?
Well, I mean, definitely do it because it's 100% worth it, but also start small. Do something that, you know, you can do now that will put you on that path. And also use the resources that are there. There is a lot of help. And if you feel like you're in a position where you have something that's holding you back, it could be a mental health issue, an addiction, somebody in your life that is holding you back, find help and surround yourself with people who can help you, because it's not easy. We can't do things alone. And especially if we're stuck in a pattern or in something that is keeping us from becoming a person that we can really be proud of and that we want to develop into. So ask for help, get therapy, find a community, find a coach, like get help, use your resources, because those are the first steps that really help you to have the tools that you need to take action. Yeah. And the confidence that you need to take action, because you have to start somewhere, and definitely the internal is the right place to start. Yeah. And then you can spill out onto others, and then you can find your purpose and your passion, and you can have the confidence to share that. But if you don't do the internal work, then
it's harder.
you might not get where you want to go. Yeah.
But I love that. Like, find a community and take small steps and one step at a time rather than thinking of the long term. And also, don't look for instant gratification.
Exactly. 100%.
Because when you're trying to build your strength, it doesn't come the next day. Even when you're working on your mental health, it will not come the next day.
No, you have to be in it for the long haul.
Exactly.
With anything, with a fitness journey. I mean, it takes so long to see any results. I mean, even with these games, it's taken so much time. You can lift weights for 6 months and you're like, where are these muscles?
Yeah.
But it comes. And then when you're on the other side of it, it's so worth it.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about the mental as well. It's a journey.
Exactly.
It's not like, 3 therapy sessions and I'm good. You have to go into things like ready to walk the walk and walk the journey. And you'll have some days that are really hard, some days where you're like, what am I doing? But those days are usually where you make the most progress. And you can only really see it from the other side. So you have to just go on that journey, have a really open mind and a growth mindset.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for sharing
Thank you.
all the insights.
I'm very, very lucky to be here and have this platform and just be able to help, even if it's just one person, to do a little bit more and push themselves a little bit harder. Because even my husband always tells me, because I'm like, this is too much. Like, I want to rest my body. He's like, you'd be surprised what the human body can do. And he always will like push me. And I love that. You need somebody in your life who pushes you a little bit.
Totally.
And says, no, you can do that a little bit better. This can be a little better. You can do a little more. But then also who nourishes you and lets you rest. So it's that balance of nourishing yourself and also pushing yourself. And I think for a lot of people, that balance is off.
Yeah. And we always like trying to strive for that balance.
Yes, and it's a
like
constant. It's a constant.
And that's what the journey is about.
Exactly. And motherhood exemplifies that and shows you how much that balance is so important. Because when you're off balance, you'll be not as good at it as you want to be. And that standard, children give you that standard in life and in all of our futures. If you look to children, like they have that standard of what we should be, and that's enough for me. Like they will forever hold me accountable and they'll forever make me want to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So before we end, we'll just do a quick rapid fire round.
Okay.
So the guests can know you a little bit. I mean, the audience can get to know you a little bit better.
Yes.
What's your non-negotiable wellness habit daily?
Running.
I guess that. What's your life mantra?
That's hard. What's my life mantra? Take risks.
I like that. What is one piece of advice you could leave our podcast viewers with? I know you already said that, but something else in like short, if you'd like. But I know you already
Stay
covered that.
open-minded.
I like that. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Chai or coffee?
Coffee.
Zumba or yoga?
Yoga.
A night in or a night out?
A night in.
And what's your go-to stress relief activity? Don't say running.
I'm not allowed to say running. Oh.
No, you can say running if it's still your stress.
Journaling.
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
nice. Yeah, I love journaling.
If I have to like go inwards or I feel imbalanced, and journaling definitely brings me to center.
Yeah, I really like that. Call a friend or text a friend?
Text.
Yeah. Alone time or like play a board game with someone? What would you prefer?
Alone time if I need to recharge, but I'm one of those people who I'm both energized by people and drained. So it's a balance.
Yeah, and your work like involves you being around people, so like you want to like retract.
Exactly.
Into
I feel like I'm talking all day, and while it really energizes me and I love it, I also need to like recharge, and that can be challenging with a family as well.
Yeah. And what's your like personal affirmation that keeps you going?
I am a powerful creator.
Wow, I love that. I'm a powerful creator. I feel like all of us need to say that all the time.
Yeah, because we're always creating our own reality and we don't really realize that. But if you think of it from that place, that I'm a powerful creator, then you will watch what you put into your psyche, the people you allow around you, and the way you challenge yourself, because you're always creating.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Thank you for being
You're
here and thank
welcome.
you for sharing.
Thank you too. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So thank you for being here. We have a little pot for you.
Oh, thank
with a little
you.
plant that you
That's
can
so
nurture and
nice.
grow.
Yes, it looks like a snake plant variety.
Yeah, it is
I have
something like
lots of plants in my salon. But
And it's perfect for indoors. I know I've been to your salon
Yeah.
and you have all these
I
things.
do tend to kill them and need like refreshment. So
No,
I
I
wish
think
I had
this
a more
is very
green
low
thumb.
maintenance, so you'll be
Okay.
able to.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks
It's beautiful.
for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching yet another episode of Wellness Deconstructed with me. I hope you had a good time watching it. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, because your support means everything to me. Until next time, keep prioritizing your well-being.